Ottomans have been nerfed. Technically. But this is a home away from home. Welcome back to the channel, folks. This map, no matter what you do, no matter what you change, it just seems like this was built for the Ottomans in mind. Dumu is here to flex them in game number 2 of this best of 5 in the $30,000 S tier tournament. Anatan's reaction is going to be to go towards House of Lancaster. And we're going to flip that score around because Anno has fallen behind after that filthy Mongol Imperial Rush game. And this could be just as filthy, actually. The design of this map, I feel like Ottomans have a very good time just rushing towards Imp after the opening aggro play. But you know what? Anatan has a good answer. House of Lancaster is surprisingly effective at playing this spear spam opening because of the efficiency of sheep gathering. This Civ gets 20% more food on the opener, right? Like, they don't waste as much effort trying to go into Spearman as other Civs. They can more easily thread the needle into the next stage, but they can also actually outmass Ottomans, believe it or not, folks. Ottomans' edge is that they pay less for the racks. They only pay 90 wood instead of 150. I'm going to hit the 2 times speed just for the first 2 or 3 minutes. But for Lancaster, you pay full price, but you start with more wood anyway. And then you just vomit out so much food, you don't really fall behind. If anything, you can actually stay ahead. Yeah, Lancaster definitely not a Civ that hates this map, right? If they get given a little bit of breadth in the other game, they can set up, they can insulate themselves with the manners in the corner. Also, opening spears, there's some matchups where you think this would be bad for Lancaster, like if you're against English, sure. But against Ottomans, you're happy. The reason is that, like, Ottos usually want to open Sipahi, and this kind of deters them. So I know, it looks like he's going to go for the Wolf Den, just cheese it off. I do hope they change this mechanic a little bit, because I don't like that it's so easy to just de-aggro the wolves away from protecting their home. Like, technically, like, being able to clear this with 3 spears is ludicrous, right? You get 150 gold, but you've made... The racks investment is 150 wood, right? And then it's only 240 for these guys. But then there's the side investments, merchant camps, etc. Like, it's way too valuable. Lancaster Castle is going to come in very high value here. What is that spawn? That's kind of outrageous, actually, guys. I don't know what it is with this map, and I'm not sure I'm a big fan of the variability of this, but very often what you'll see on this map, on Light Horizon, is that you will get a gold spawn around here, and then 2 stone spawn over here. Literally what the Ottomans have. Like, what the Ottomans have is the logical spawn. It's meant to be the ideal one. But for some reason, Dumu has a problem here. Anatan hit the jackpot. As this Civ, getting stone split on each side of your base is perfect, because even if you get harassed here, you have a backup location now to get access to your manners. Thank you, Frey. Love you. Oh, bless Frey. She brought me a package. I hope it hasn't got anthrax in it. Thank you. I don't even remember ordering anything. Oh, go give him to mummy. Yeah, go give it to mummy. Wow. I mean, talk about being fat shamed by your 3-year-old. So Emma ordered a bra. But apparently, my boobs are so much more in need of it, my daughter brought it out to me. Anyway, we've got spear on spear spam. Minaret Madras is coming through. And he is already on the stone. Now, is Dumu just going to be going for standard military schools? Or have we got some, like, new style extensive fortifications built in mind? Because the problem with that is, like, it would be cool, but extensive fortifications requires 2 vizier points. For those who don't know, they changed extensive fortifications now so that it reduces the cost of building TCs. My issue with this change is, as cool as it is, you need to wait so long in the game to do it. Where in Feudal, he's only now getting the first vizier point. Most people who want to do 2 TC do it straight away, right? As soon as you can in the beginning of Feudal. Whereas the only way I think this would be viable for Ottos is like aggro for, 10 minutes into delayed 2 TC. But the problem with that is, like, do you even then have the vizier point? Or have you invested it into military campus? And if you've invested in a military campus, do you now want to go extensive fortifications? Or would you rather get access to Janissaries and Lancers and go Castle Age? So yeah, It's cool that they gave Ottomans more vizier options, and they really did, folks. Remember, they made not only that change, they also made it so that the Akinji, the horse archer point, spawns for free when you get it as well at your town center. But the problem with the extensive fortifications is it's super situational. With Pax Ottomani, you can catch up. But you've just turned a 1 vizier point investment into a 2 vizier point investment. Let me translate what you just suggested in a different way. Yo, hey Jack. So we invested like 20,000 of your savings into this stock. Really cool like aerodynamics company out of Indiana, and they're really going to be going to the moon. We really believe that still. It's like it hasn't quite shown itself yet, but we think if you put another $20,000 into Aerodine, I promise you that this stock is going to the moon. Right? You see what you've done there? You've created a sunken cost fallacy. To try and fix the flawed nature of extensive fortifications, you've pushed yourself into another vizier point. And the problem with that is with this system currently, in the meta where you do not go for the landmark that gives more vizier points, you've now stripped additional options elsewhere, away, because you'll run out of points, right? So it's really weird with that. I guess if you sacrifice, like what, you can do so 1, 1, 1, and then you can go back for advanced academies and still get military. You can get 5, right? But then you're missing out on, like, I guess Siege Cruise has fallen off, but if you thought that you want to trade later on, you don't have that option. Or if you got an all-in timing, the Great Bombard's not going to be there now. It's a bit weird, yeah. Wait, was it Aerodine or Aerodine? I'm pretty sure it's Aerodine, is what they were called. I like how it's like YouTube's been very quiet today, and then you give them a location to take a crap on, and they're straight in there. So Dimu, he has got the double Imam point, but Anatan is rushing castle now. Yeah, he went for the only 3 manas. He did add into Yeoman, which I guess Dimu can see as a win that he forced Yos. It does feel a little bit odd when you're doing FC like this to build Yeoman at all, really. I think because you're looking for the Elsgard timing, right? I know. There we go. White Tower. Love this as well. Secures the deer, secures the gold, secures the food. Ishiai caramba. That is a lot of resources locked in by this landmark. And the timing is so ballsy. But it's because he anticipated Dimu just greeding up. And it is greed o'clock. We can see that Dimu is trying to rush into castle himself. Is there something mathematical about 3 manas as opposed to different numbers? Yeah, so it's all about timing. Like, you can get 3 manas and feel pretty cozy, and that also enables you on the pump into Elsgard upon tech up. But the other thing that also changed most recently with Season 11 is they actually nerfed the cost of this tech. So it used to be, I believe, 100 and 250 or 100 and 200. I think it's 100 and 200. So they added, I think, an extra 100 resources in the cost. So it really stunts your timings if you just keep extending manas. And the problem with that is for specifically the White Tower build. The White Tower build is already based on dynamic push, right? It's not about a slow roll. You're meant to ramp up fast. If you delay your timings by an extra 2 minutes, they're not going to be there. Especially in this game, because Dumu's just behind you on the castle up, right? Which means he'll start being able to go into things like knights and crossbowmen, etc. Now that is cool. Anatan. Oh, he's been practicing this. We've got the Ronin sneaking around the back. How do people feel about Enlightened Horizon, by the way? I've heard a few players now say that there may be... Oh, a few. One flag to me, they're like, I'm a bit tired of this. It feels repetitive. It feels like we're doing the same thing over and over again. And I was curious about, like... Yes, that's kind of true, but there are variables. Like, this Ronin timing, for this whole idea that it's the same thing over and over again. I think in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've seen people use the Ronin much better. The thing about Enlightened Horizon, for better or worse, is the way it's designed... Because you have to play the Dark Age, or presumably you mostly have to play the Dark Age. I guess in some ways it plays out a little bit more like a StarCraft meta, if that makes sense, where you optimize your build on the map, knowing that the spawn is going to be consistently quite similar to X or Y. Yeah, I don't mind us changing up maps. I just want more maps to have this type of character to them. It doesn't necessarily have to be Dark Age all in, but the options being different, man. Like, I don't know. I know some people would love it if we just fell back to Dry Arabia and never left Dry Arabia, but Depending on the meta, that can be the worst possible thing. I still remember Dry Arabia in the middle of the 2TC meta. I hated it. I'm not even going to pretend anymore. Like, that drained me, man. That was a horrible time. Audience wants change? Agreed. The same thing over and over again is boring, right? Like, that's why I think, like, what works for StarCraft, right, is this idea that people... They may be playing the same thing, but they rapidly innovate what they're doing, if that makes sense. So you get something different. That's why it worked for StarCraft for so long. That and pacing, right? I think the other thing you have to keep in mind is why you actually need AoE 4 to be so different. You need these different maps to function differently. Is the pacing of early game AoE 4, outside of maps like Enlightened Horizon, is not quick. You know what is quick? The Allscar production rate. Look at this, already up to 13. Dumu is trying to contest already, though. Relics are being sought by Anatan. Elsgard are going to have to clash here, but they're happy to do so. I mean, the Sipahi count is pretty underwhelming. And the imams are getting sniped. Like, this is dirty. These daggers have never not been dirty. Oh, my God. Just watching it, I want to shower. Ronin have also been stabbing the base. They just found a worker kill. That'll at least get cleared up. And we do have Lancer production now coming in, which should be the answer to Earlsguard. The tricky part is reaching them. Also running away from them, apparently. Oh, God. And behind this, Anno is now just ramping up. We've got Mana Tech 2 unlocking. He's stockpiling a lot of food as well. There's a realistic chance he's just rushing Imperial here. Okay, it's going to sound weird, but imagine you just do Imperial Rush with just second mana level. Because then you have just enough to afford Skittage, and then you can just get Gold Trickle to go back for the third level. It's kind of crazy, but also makes sense, I think, on this map, after the tech cost nerfs to the mana levels. Man, actually, if he keeps getting relics like this, he'll be able to afford whatever he wants anyway. Feudal all-in needs to be at least possible for a game ending. Okay, so what if the TC wasn't as tanky in the earlier ages? Would that fix some of the problem? I think one of the big conundrums is the natural built-in arrow fire defense and the amount of garrison slots in the primary TC is actually what makes Feudal all-in so difficult to achieve. The way that the primary TC functions in AoE 4 means that Feudal all-ins are not worth the investment over just winning the feudal fight and then going castle. There are very rare examples where that's not true. Maybe. But like the majority of situations, and take this from someone who has cast more hours than AoE 4 than he should be willing to admit. I've cast well over 3,200 hours of AoE 4 at this stage. I just checked my Steam. My Steam is sitting at almost 3,200 hours. And remember, I cast on other people's channels, right? Where I don't log into the game. So I've watched a lot of AoE 4. And if there's someone I've consistently seen, it's that feudal all-ins are an absolute struggle. When they work, the way that they work is the person GG'd out because they just didn't see a way, right? Like, but I'm sure people had it in their pub games. You try and end a game on a person in feudal, feels like you're there for a century. Oh my God, this one Ronin though. He's just ruining everything for him. I tell you, the value that you can get out of one of these guys is kind of crazy. They're so quick as well. 1.38 movement speed. Even finding 2 worker kills on top of the idle time? That's crazy. And look at what he's done. This, oh my God, this runner's locked in the game. Wingard is coming in right now, and Dumu is nowhere near the enemy base to kind of really threaten. Right? I mean, he's got some troopers here, but he pulled back, what? Was it an extra 5, 6 troopers? Plus the siege, then the idle time stopping the next wave. So, like, you know, had he had all that gathering going, you maybe see him with a few more troopers and feels confident about going in. He's going to try to knock at the door here. But I'm a bit reluctant to say this is going to work. Especially with the timing. Military Academy plus the veterancy. This is going to be a Wingard rush into Spearman. Rainlord said a while back, the problem with feudal all-in is meta. The balance is really hard to achieve. I mean, it's funny, because every time I ask Rainlord for his opinion on anything design-related, he actually dodges it like a bullet. Like he's Neo. I always found that intriguing, Marine Lord. There are some things that he'll very clearly be able to give his opinion on, but like ideating big changes, I've noticed he just completely stays away from the discussion. As in, like, he can tell you, like, oh, this is broken or that's not, or like, you know, this needs to be buffed, this needs to be nerfed. But like, if you like pitch a new idea entirely, he's very, very shy about actually saying whether it's good or bad. So, game has calmed down a bit, but this is to be expected. Like, for Anatan, you know, you don't really have the GG point yet, but you've locked in everything you need, right? You got Scootage on the way, you're going to be getting the extra mana level soon. This does mean that Dumu gets to enter his favorite phase of the game, though, which is a bit dangerous that you've allowed, because we're going to be seeing Ottoman Imperial, which has been the bane of many a player's existence, especially on Enlightened Horizon. And we said earlier, right, this is their bread and butter map. The map where they most definitely look most comfortable. I mean, what could the big strat be here? Cheeky little Waddle. It's going to buy time to throw these boys up. Yeah, I think 35 Spearmen might be enough to kill these guys. Maybe. Maybe. It's ridiculous to watch every time just how quickly this Civ blob Spearman with this Wingard build, isn't it? It's just out of nowhere. And for good reason. Like, remember, at this point, this Wingard is producing 8 of these Spearmen every 23 seconds. And it's doing it cheaper than what you'd normally pay out of Iraq. Yeah, I've called this, like... I wouldn't even call it Burgrave Light. It's actually Burgrave Premium when you think about it. Like, mathematically, like, what was it? Is it 3 or 4 seconds for a Spearman out of a Burgrave? But, like, if you do 4 times... Let's say it's 4. That's 4 times 8. That's going to be 32 seconds. This is by default 30 seconds. And you pay less, right? 8 Spearmen, remember, would normally run you up a mean bill of 640. You're paying 450, and you also get an Earl's Guard as a bonus. Speaking of that Earl's Guard count, that's actually looking decent as well. Wouldn't be surprised if Anatan starts to lean into that. Just because of the value prop, right? Like, you've got yourself the White Tower, which is already buffing the damage a bit. Maybe he wants to lean away from just being melee blob, though, because Dumu has got the answer. He's got 7 Springles now. Is the Earl's Guard are going to discover? Ouch. So the chase is on to mirror the move. Sipahi, we're trying to get across the map. We'll get blocked out. Dominion, if your king is out of a building near your troops should get 50% tax bonus, but it's risky. You're never going to get people to use it. Like, what you've just described there is like 50% attack speed sounds like a lot, and it is. But the trade-off being that I could lose the game because of this one entity that's not that tanky. That's the problem. I do, however, like the idea of Dominion. I'm exploring finding maps that make sense to actually start with a king spawn. I'm quite inspired by AoE 2 having a specific map for that, and I actually think it's something that would fit AoE 4 really nicely. Yeah, like, different win conditions is a cool concept, because then you don't have to necessarily get as quirky with, like, all these different maps. You can almost have, like, a Dry Arabia, Gorge, Lipany rotation that could have different win conditions to keep it fresh. And some players are going to love that. Some players are going to hate it because they have to learn new things. But that's always the way. I think the most important thing that the players need to take on is what actually gets the most people watching this most important. I know it's not fun to hear, but sometimes it's not just about your personal enjoyment. That was something that, shout out to Hero, I always loved the way he accepted that. It's like, there was a time where he thought the way is like, oh, this isn't fun for me, but then he realized, oh, it's actually not about me. It's about the scene and what's good for it. What do you think? Is Lancaster still good for the scene? There's just so many spears coming, isn't there? I mean, Dimu has the answers, though. He's definitely not going to die to this. He's got mass archers. He's got the Jannies as well, which melt Spearmen. One thing that concerns me is technically Lancaster does have one of the best answers out there. Like, it's close to English answer, right? It's not longbows, but yeoman can be a solid solution to most options in the Ottoman arsenal. The only thing you just have to worry about is Sipahi, but, you know, similar to English having an attack speed buffer, what the Elite Spearmen bring is a damage buffer with the Bullhook. Demi-Lancers against Dimmu. Interesting strat. Like, it's almost matching the name. Maybe we'll just think they belong to him. He's going to charge in with them. This is just to buy time, I think. As he's prepping the real switch, we have got the Elite Tech coming into the Yo, so it is going to be a pivot into the Archers next. Bomber play also on the menu. Something that, of course, Dimmu cannot go for. Dimmu, he is going to be going for that 2 TC setup. He did not go for extensive fortifications. I wonder if he'll try to get towards Pax Ottomana. He's still got some way to go on the Vizier points, but at 61 eco, he'll probably have another Vizier point by, what, like 72 eco? So then buffing your TCs by 75% for 4 minutes, it could actually be worth it at that stage. I guess it depends how big do you really want to go in your economy, because like this is the tricky thing, is that to remain competitive with Lancaster, you've got to be very lean with your eco. Right, because they're basically dodging using like 20 more worker spaces out of their population by having manners. And you do have military schools to kind of mimic that, but the difference between military schools and manners is manners gives you the resources to rapidly produce new troops. Military schools doesn't. They pump out fairly fast. You can see here, right, it takes a minute for a Sipahi, which is decent. But a minute for Sipahi, that suggests, yeah, you get 160 resources a minute. Compare that to just 1 mana, which is going to give you about the same. Yeah, there you go. Ends up being, I think, 145, wasn't it? But the difference is, like, where I can allocate, if that makes sense. Is I can stockpile, 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 and then spam everything at a ridiculous pace. For Ottomans, the way that their passive income in the late game wins is by staying close to 200 population and keeping lots of little fights going. Because if you lose the entire army, right, like, you can't rely on military schools to get you back up to scratch. Let's give him more than a little scratch there. Sipahi. Do you find the workers? Anno's still only 1 TC. He's also running out of safe-ish gold. But with 4 relics plus scootage, you can be forgiven for that. He's also got the big techs coming in. Sync shot and snare arrows. Also now getting distilled arrows. And this... Okay, that's... We've almost got this one. Can you guys handle the other one? No, we have bows too. Someone send spears. Oh my god. Sipahi. How to play not yeoman. Who would have thought it? He does... Oh god, he does 1 damage. Yeah, because like he never got Blacksmith 1. Like that's why this looks so disgusting is remember, Dimmu, he already has range 2 and elite upgrade. Anatan wasn't ready for that. He has no real upgrades here yet. Elite Sipahi looks so dope. I'm trying to think what their best color is. Purple's pretty vibing, you know. Do you just go for the classic green or is that just too dialed down? And this is another thing that's going to make these fights look one-sided. No Billman. No elite army tactics yet. Alright, I'm impressed. I think Dimmu's in like a pretty good position right now. I was a little bit worried that maybe the blob gets too big and you can't get on the map, but he always kept the Springles alive. And Sipahi count is competitive. He does need to be careful this yeoman timing though. He's got the 8k gold secured now with the castle. Something that Anatan just became aware of as he started to dive there. Could this be a game that's decided more by the sacred sites is what I'm wondering. Red Janissary. Yeah, but what about the Sipahi? Who cares about the Janissaries? They're nerfed. They're trash. Sipahi are king. Like, if you're going to play Ottomans, if you're going to main Ottomans, you're going to spend more time looking at Sipahi than any other unit in your roster. So you want whatever makes them look best. I guess red with the leopard print would be pretty slick. Nice hit there. Does take out the workers on the gold. Anatan is in a bit of a struggling position here, isn't he? Unless he goes 2 TC, he's just going to keep hemorrhaging a bit too much worker count. Well, finally, they do actually register damage. But, you know, mathematically not really a fair fight, if you ask me. Meta does go down, but the Sipahi are just going to keep raiding to draw attention. Anatan, in the meantime, has locked in 3 Sacred Sites, but that's not guaranteed. With this type of position on the map, it's going to be weird. He has got the Spearman in reserve over here, but the castle's nearby, and Dumu has got 7 Springles. Meanwhile, Dumu has got an absurd amount of farms too. No? Okay, only 21. I thought it was a little bit deeper looking at the minimap, but there we go. The extra scattering's coming in now. Really important if you want to keep the Sipahi blobbing going, and we know because there's so many spears, it's more realistic that you're just going to start seeing, 15 Sipahi melt. So you need to have the second wave prepped and ready to go. And I just realized this is becoming a pretty long series already, isn't it? Because we had the 30-minute game, which was the Mongol Imp Rush at 17 minutes they got there. And now we're about to hit the 30-minute mark again, and I don't really see this letting up too quickly. No, because Anatan is doing the right moves. He's just trying to go around on the flanks, poke at the economy, slow things down there, right? And then you can do all the passive production afterwards. But Dimu is hunkering down, man. He's only sending out a small group of Sipahi to keep raiding the 8k gold, which just again found an attempt to resecure the area. Meanwhile, the rest of the base is protected by the boys. Well, minus the Great Bombard that seems to have been left out to dry. Spimman is going to be able to clear it up. Turns out Ram is pretty good at resisting death by Great Bombard. And wait, the second one just came out as well. Whoops. And by the way, he did go Pax Ottomana. Yeah, so he's been ramping up on the TC production. That timing already passed. Kind of crazy, actually. Oh, wait, no, so I'm an idiot. It's the other way around, isn't it? It's the ticks. My brain, I don't know why, is like, whoa, he's got a lot of points. So yeah, he hasn't actually leaned into it. He went for the Janissary Company point. Feeling that pressured. That's pretty rough, guys. The Janissary Company point is a one-offer. It spawns this group of Janissary once. It's not a high-value choice unless you are in dire tides. So a little bit of harass here. Both keeping each other in check. Anatan is now leaning away from raiding melee blob-wise. He's leaning into Yeoman. Yeoman actually are very good raiders in most matchups. The problem here is that because it's the Ottomans, it's very risky. Sending in spears before is kind of fine because if there's just some Sipahi, they can't fight. But if you send in 20 Yeoman and there's a group of Sipahi, you're just dead. It's just wasted economy. And the difference also is that, the Spearman, he keeps getting them discounted from the Wing Guard. The Yeoman are very expensive. For the Spearman, you throw away 8 of them, that's like 400 resources, right? Because of the discount. The Yeoman, you throw away 8 of them, that's almost 800 resources. Reroll. Ooh, not in time there. So Jim will get annoyed a little bit more over here, but once the stone walls are up, he should be relatively safe. We do have mass culverins coming through. Yeah, he's up to 4 so far. Sipahi, they chase him away, though. Second line's going to be following up. Yeoman just trying to keep their distance. But Anatan, he needs to back up and give a bit of respect here. Militarily, he's outnumbered right now in these fights. Yeah, this is a big purple blob. Elsgard switch is interesting, but definitely makes sense. Yes, there's some Springles in the formation, but the Janissaries are going to have a lot of their damage mitigated. Actually, I guess that's kind of weird between Spears and Elsgard, right? It's like Elsgard obviously have a lot of inherent armor, but with the Padded Jack, which I think he forgot. Did he forget Padded Jack? It's in the blacksmith, right? Which I need to now find. Wait, does he have Padded Jack? Well, he's got the +3/+3, but he's... Oh, wait, no, sorry, I'm an idiot. It's melee, isn't it? Yeah. My brain was like, melee and range, right? Yeah, so he's got the Padded Jack in. I guess this could be pretty impactful against the Sipahi, but obviously the problem is, like, you wish you had more range resistance here, so that the Janissary wouldn't just melt spears. No wonder. Do we have Anatan prepping for castle soon? Because he never built one, right? So he's actually missing a lot of damage burst on this Earlsguard mass. We do, however, have the Silk Bowstrings to keep distance. So, Silk Bowstrings on Yeoman and Lombos is sometimes a very big negative. Because it now means you're going to keep your boys much further away from the melee line that will protect them. A bit of a whiff on the sink shot. Not the most impressive there, but now the Revoltiquins are going to lead in. It's not sniping them down either. Dimu's just in A-click mode right now. It's going to get minced here. Great Bombard's trying to snipe, but I mean, it's just irrelevant damage, right? Like, these Revoltiquins at 250 HP, it takes way too long to kill them. So Anatan is just going to brute force his way through the center here. Both siege sides going down. Dimu losing the Great Bombard to the north and south of Springles as well. And I'm baffled, man. I cannot believe that. I mean, Revoltiquins are a good answer to Janissaries, guys, because of the short range. But I thought the archers from Dimu would try to target fire that down. Nope. Never happened. I guess without the Silk Bowstrings, it felt impossible. And now he's in trouble. Anno's going to keep the pressure up. Coles plus the Lombos are sniping in. There's going to be a backstab coming through from the supply to try and save the day. But it looks too little too late. Castle's going to go down. The supply count, although looking competitive at 19, cannot really approach these Revoltiquins. It's a death sentence. Danny's going to go for the dive in, though. Hello. Ooh, Dimu! You cheeky son of a gun. He actually makes it work. Gets the wipe. Keeps the castle up. And pushes Anno away. That was disgusting. So close to faltering, but Dimu finds a way of threading the needle. Anatan has to reset. Yeah, lost a decent chunk of the Yeoman. Way too much of the melee ball. The Revoltiquin count being shrunk like that. Not a good sign for him. So, Anatan, he's given a brutal reminder to Dimu that he's not to be underestimated, rather. But Dimu just as abrupt of a reaction. And I wonder, Anatan, like, now that he's seen what he's been able to achieve there, you know, do you go back for Earlsguard or do you just go Spears? Because, like, in my eyes, the only thing that ruined it there for you is the counterplay from the Sipahi. But if you have Spears, the Sipahi are irrelevant. It's like playing Yeoman plus Spearmen and Revoltiquins should be his golden solution. The only weakness there is it does mean that these Great Bombards aren't going to die as quickly because that last time they just melted to the Earlsguard. Earlsguard needs to be nerfed to the ground. I'd rather they just rework some elements. Broken record on this one, but like that's the thing. Some of the systems are just not fun to play against. I wouldn't even see like House of Lancaster is the most powerful civ, right? It's just they're a pain in the ass to the extreme. I'm trying to think if there's a more frustrating civ to have to play against. Actually, I guess we have the perfect match in heaven here, right? These are the two frustrating civs in the hyper late game. Ottomans versus Lancaster. So that's an attempt to burn through the wall up here. Dimu is going to force a lot of idle time. Spearmen are on the way to clear that up. Oh, no, but he didn't respect the Sipahi. Sipahi with the extra range can stab through the wall, guys. Much easier than other units. So Anatan, he's going to lose the repair crew. More villages are going to be pulled, though. And Spearmen have just arrived, so they should start to clear this up. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Anatan does approach the walls. An ambitious attempt to break in is going to fail here. And what on earth happened over here? No way. No, Dimu, he didn't know. Anatan, he snuck in while Dimu wasn't looking. He's got double outposts, fortifications, into cannons coming in to deny equity. Anatan's on the push again, guys. 6 Revoltiquins. Meanwhile, Dimu tries to go into the enemy base, but good timing on the wall there. Anatan gets it up just before he be broke, but he hasn't got much time here. The Great Bombards are already in position. He's going to try to repair the wall, but it just doesn't work. Army's coming home. No second wall behind this. So the Sipahi, they can just dive deep into the base. Oh, and I love that. Dumu, he's been keeping imams in the army formation to heal any small damage done. Really smart, just because, like, normally when you get these pushes going, the thing that can kill you is just you win a fight, and then you all of a sudden lose the fight, lose the entire army, because everyone's bar in that final fight was 20%. A smart little detail there to help himself out. Backstab is coming through, though. Robotiquins are feeling ambitious. Wait, did he just counterplay a Great Bombard with a Robotiquin? That doesn't work. That really doesn't work. And the cannons... Wait, he's diving it? Villages. A lot of damage done, but it looks like it is going to work. Maybe the repair boys? No. No, that's disgusting. The amount of torches to kill this one building. Oh my god. Thank god the AoE damage on those things isn't as ridiculous as it once was. It's finally going to go down. Meanwhile, the Great Bombards are still alive and pushing. Anatan's attempt to backstab did not work out. Anatan's economy is in shambles. What? Wait, what is going on here? What? Yeah. Show me that junk you got in the trunk. What is it trying to do? Okay. I'm a little confused right now. I guess, like, well, mathematically it didn't make sense. How could it hit a farm through the ground there? So Dumu, he has thrown away a lot of army just to try and get this dive. However, look on the other side of this. Economically, Anatan took a big hit to the chest. Right, these raids have consistently been keeping him down. So the question now is, Anatan with primarily spears, what kind of damage can he achieve? Or does he need to now wait, reset, and potentially allow Dumu to get back up to maximum military? Wait, no, not again, not again, not again! This can't keep happening! The cannon emplacement from hell. Oh my god, Anatan put baby in the corner. Dumu's eventually going to clear the way, but the losses have been stacking up. Just look at the worker kill. It was 55 to 55 less than a minute ago. Absolute disaster. He even has to double check. He's like, wait a second, is there another? He's that freaked out by it. Unbelievable. While this happens, the dive comes into the main. Well, think about it, Dimu. How much time was wasted there burning down outposts instead of getting gold? Like, how do you remax now? Can you remax? I don't think so. Anatan, he's got enough yeomen here to snipe out any Janissaries that spawn. And the Sipahi aren't counterplaying. There's just too many spears. Burn damage is coming through. Great Bombard tries to stand its ground, but it's just not finding the high-value shots here to try and re-secure the base. No doubt about it. Anatan, after a wacky engagement as well as a raid on the gold, he's pulled it off. Demon Civ beat Demon Lord Civ in the late game. Ottomans may be King and Imperial, but Lancaster ain't no slouch either. I mean, there's no coming back from this. I think Dimu knows it as well. We talked about the difference here. It's like, Anno, he loses the army. He can remax if he's got reserves. Ottomans don't really rely on big reserves and big income. They rely on passive production to just pull them through. And there isn't enough passive production in the world to save you from the Demon Civ.